So the first thing to do when creating your dome whistle is to create one pinch pot and attach it to a slab, creating that dome shape. I just want to point out a comparison with my other whistle here. Yours does not have to be as big as mine. You can go a little bit smaller if you would like. I would just be prepared. That might make it a little trickier to get your cuts right. This next portion of the video, I'm going to go very slow because I actually fail a bit at first, and I think it's important to see the troubleshooting in case you need to do the same thing. So first, I need to imagine where that slab ends. So if I had not blended in, I would know exactly where it ends, but I did. So I'm going to guess. I know it was about 1/4 of an inch thick. So that is where I'm going to shove my mouthpiece with the popsicle through. I'm going to leave that popsicle in the whole time. If you refer to the diagram, this is what you should imagine the inside looks like. That popsicle stick going even with the base of the slab. Take a moment and get that mouthpiece scored and slipped onto your dome shape. Now comes the cut that will make the sound. The first 3 cuts nearest the mouthpiece are going to go straight up and down at a 90-degree angle. Where I want to imagine this first cut that goes along the mouthpiece, I want to imagine that lines up with the inner edge of my pinch pot. Refer to the diagram above. Having it go a little bit more inward towards the center of the slab is fine, again, as seen in the picture. If it is too far into the mouthpiece, you're not going to get the sound. That actually ends up being my first issue and why my first attempt does not work. So here you see I've made my first 3 cuts. I want the width of that hole to be about the same width of that popsicle stick. The last cut is that 45-degree angle towards the mouthpiece, which is what creates the sound. So very carefully, keep cutting until you hit that popsicle stick. It will give you a nice crisp edge, slice, and then remove that piece of clay. Once it is out, I just do my best to clean up that hole with my tool. Get as many crumbs out as you can, make it look as square as possible so that the air has the best chance of making it through without any interference. So, spoiler alert, my first attempt does not work. When I take the popsicle stick out and blow, I do not get anything. And that is because of this diagram above. What I warned, my hole was set too far back. So what I'm going to do now, because it's not going to work as it is, I'm going to stick that popsicle stick back in, and then I'm going to fill up my hole and try again. So plug that up, blend it in, and try again. I'm going to speed this part up because I'm doing the same exact cuts. I have just hopefully moved it back enough to get it in the right positioning. So as I shine the light into this hole, look closely. You should now be able to see that interior wall of your pinch pot. It is still slightly pushed back, but I'm glad now that the majority of this hole actually sinks into my pinch pot rather than just into the hole of my mouthpiece. I'm going to adjust it a little more, but hopefully that view helped you out. So once again, even after showing you that interior, it still did not make a sound, so I still have to adjust it. I'm showing you this because you might be going through the same thing, so this will help you troubleshoot. I think I still need to move that hole back, so what I'm just going to do now is instead of filling it in, I'm going to cut this angled bit further back, get my 45-degree angle in. So as you can see, I moved about, 2 centimeters back. It's not that much. But when I showed you how it wasn't completely lined up on the inside, I'm thinking that did make a difference. So I'm just going to take a small piece of clay at this point and fill that gap in a little bit just to make that hole a smidge smaller. So let's pull that popsicle stick back out, take another look into the hole with the light. And as we can see now, that cut that we made almost perfectly lines up with the interior of our pinch pot. I spend the next couple minutes just once again cleaning up the hole, making it as nice as possible. And finally, I test it out, and if you listen closely, we now have a functional whistle. One final thing, and this is completely optional, if you want your whistle to become an ocarina, you just have to poke 1 or 2 holes about where your fingers would land when you're holding it. So, word of caution, this hole puncher will probably end up making that clay fall into your whistle, so let's just hope that once it's bisque fired, we can shake it out. And now you have 2 pitches or tones or whatever. I am terrible at music, instead of just 1. You can do more holes if you want. I've never been really successful at getting much of a different pitch, but go for it. Poke as many holes as you want. No, actually, don't do more than 2. I'm just gonna hope that sounds better once it's fired. Remember, don't blow into it too much or you'll get too much spit and ruin your beautiful sound. All right, thanks for watching. Enjoy your whistle.